Gothic horror novels often presented themselves as found manuscripts, texts that had been abandoned and then rediscovered by a writer or scholar. The technique was used to create a sense of authenticity, presenting the stories as factual and true. It also provoked a greater sense of dread in the reader, who now shared the same reality as the main characters. Time passed, and found manuscripts lost their veracity. However, the technique reached other mediums, arriving thus to found footage. Today, we'll dive into horror films that use this technique and their evolution. In 1999, the Blair Witch Project was released in the United States. Even though it was not the first film to mix found footage and horror, it is considered the blueprint for the format. The story follows a group of students who are making a documentary about a folk legend in the town of Blair. As they go into the forest to shoot, they discover that the tales of the witch were more real than they first thought. One of the main characteristics of the Blair Witch Project is the inclusion of the camera in the diegesis. Throughout the film, we can see the characters record, use the camera, or talk about it. The camera becomes a character, a placeholder for the viewer. This allows the spectator to identify emotionally with them. The usage of the found footage technique also contributes to the overall aesthetics of the film. Blair Witch is presented as an amateur student project, which allows the cameras to be shaky, grainy, or not clear enough. The amateur look is part of the film, and it enhances the credibility of the recordings versus a classical horror film. Blair Witch also plays with the limited camera and knowledge of the characters to build suspense and terror. After the Blair Witch Project, multiple films started to use found footage technique. It was especially used in the late 2000s with the release of Wreck, Paranormal Activity, or Cloverfield, and continue in the early 2010s. One of the most well-known found footage films is Wreck. This 2007 Spanish production follows a team of journalists and their feature of a firefighter patrol. They end up in an apartment block in Barcelona, where they attend a strange call. Once there, the team discovers that an unknown disease is spreading through the block, and they will have to evade the infection. The camera plays a key role in Wreck. Pablo, the cameraman, uses it in multiple situations to see what his eye couldn't, by rewinding the camera, putting it up to peek through a window, or using night vision. The journalists have a desire to uncover the truth, something that is shared with the viewer. However, as the spectators, the characters lack information, not discovering the true nature of the infection until the end of the film. Also in 2007, Paranormal Activity was first released. The plot follows a young couple, Kitty and Micah, who have moved to a new house. They set up a camera just in case something supernatural happens. To their surprise, when days go by, they start to catch unsettling footage. Paranormal Activity returns to the Gothic haunted house, but modernizes it. Instead of the typical Victorian castle, we found ourselves in a suburban house in the United States. The ghouls and specters are still present, but tainted by a modern wave of skepticism. Another film that uses the technique is Megan is Missing. It follows Megan Stewart, a 14-year-old, and her social life. On the internet, she meets what seems to be a charming teen. After they meet, Megan disappears, and some weeks later so does her best friend. The usage of found footage is not limited to their cameras, but it also includes fake news reports. Megan is Missing is considered one of the most horrifying films, due to the crudeness of its last 22 minutes. It was produced to give awareness of the dangers on the internet to the youth, and to achieve it, the ending of the film includes sexual and graphic violence. Found footage was also relevant in other parts of the world. We all now see its impact in Asian horror films, and more precisely, in South Korea and Japan. In 2005, The Curse, Noro in Japanese, was released. It was directed by Koji Shiashi, well known for his wide uses of found footage. Noroi follows the life and work of a paranormal investigator and his sudden death after recording a documentary. The film shows us different cases such as a psychic girl, a medium, and a college student among others. However, we will later discover a connection between them all. Noroi incorporates the found footage technique into J-horror. This subgenre focuses on psychological terror and uses tension and supernatural events to scare the spectator. We can see characteristics of J-horror in Noroi, such as the inclusion of Japanese folklore, spiritual and occult practices, and the apparition of the demon Kagutawa. Regarding South Korean horror, Gonjam is a 2018 found footage film. It follows a group of streamers who go to investigate an abandoned asylum. Their plan is to fake the haunting of the building. However, once they are inside, they discover there is more activity than they had planned. Gonjam innovates regarding the found footage technique, which instead of recording, live streams most of the events of the film. Moreover, the characters use professional equipment such as drones or double perspective cameras, which distance itself from the usual amateur aesthetic of the format. As we have seen, most found footage films are produced by amateurs or small teams. It is not surprising to see how independent creators have started to create and upload found footage projects to the web. One of the most recent and renowned examples is the series of The Backrooms. Based on a 2019 4chan post, YouTube user Kane Pixels created a short film called The Backrooms Found Footage. There are 14 videos of the series to date, all uploaded in 2022. They follow different characters diving in the backrooms, a pocket dimension between reality. Kane uses a retro aesthetic for his series, achieving both an authentic look and an easy-to-produce aesthetic. However, there are other types of found footage videos online. Brian David Gilbert explores the format in Teaching Jake About the Camcorder, a video in which a character plays again and again a video of his father. The short is aware of its format, giving place to a surreal and uncanny horror film. Horror shows the anxieties and fears of a time. In the era of cameras and smartphones, where recording has become an essential part of our lives, found footage films appear. Not only it reflects the ever-evolving pace of technology, but our own fear of the digital image, the power that it truly holds. After all, the only thing that separates us from found footage horror is the dread.